Excuse. That's what they decided to do.
Everybody rise for the pledge.
You're tired, You're tired,
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh Lord, as we gather this day to do important business for people of served with legal, fairness, wisdom, compassion, and understanding.
All right, first item on the agenda tonight is a little different. It is public hearing on the purchase of Scott air tags using funds from the fire reserve. We're actually unsure whether or not we can use the funds from the fire reserve. Because of how so Nate actually suggested that we ask the local comptroller's office to review this and see if we can or not.
That we can.
Have we opened the public hearing? Yes. Does anybody would like to say anything about the public hearing? Let's close the public hearing. Rusty says we should close the public hearing.
You
making that motion?
Just second that.
Michelle, second.
And a vote, Fran?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
That was good.
Easiest thing.
Let's find out if we can use that money. Just give it an option. I'm saying we will. It's an option. All right, next item is public comment. You got anything? Nate's friend, you got anything?
And his official name?
That's why we hired him.
It happens some places.
That's how I got this job. Don't get better smell.
Next item is DRI update. So we had a meeting with Julie Sweet about the status of all the DRI projects. Her recommendation is that we lump all 7 of our projects, which is like $4.2 million, into one RFP and see if we can get one architectural firm to kind of manage the whole thing, put the burden on them to fill in all the paperwork for the state and meet all the MWBE requirements and that kind of thing.
Mayor, I know we talked at that meeting, one of the first steps would be putting out the RFP/Q for that design service. And so certainly legal expenses are eligible for reimbursement. You can use this money to pay your legal costs for that. That's included in the estimated cost of the total project.
Correct.
So my office, we put together a legal services proposal for this work. It would be at our normal hourly rates with a discount. Our normal hourly rates now are $3.10 an hour for partners, $2.10 to $2.50 for associates, and $1.60 to $200 for paralegals. So we're proposing a 10% discount on that. So it'd be $2.75, $2.50, $200. And then from talking with the mayor, we also understand, of course, that this is a budgeted project. We don't want to blow your budget for any reason. And so we're willing to agree to a not to exceed percentage of the total cost. If we end up having to spend more than that, that's something that we would end up eating. That amount, I think we'd be safe to budget at 1.5% total, which I think is probably well in excess of what we would need. That gives certainly my office a little comfort that we're not going to take a hit on it. Now, of course,
Does that, I'd ask you this on the phone, but does that include the sewer line project?
yes, that includes all the work related with the sewer line project, including all the necessary easements. I mean, it is everything for that project. They have all the RFP and Q.
And the legal for all the other projects?
Legal for every one of those 7 projects.
Okay.
What about you, Nick?
And that's one of the benefits, having associates and paralegals. I plan on fully utilizing Bob and making him really understand all the nuances to this in a cost-effective way.
This Bob, your friend.
This Bob.
I'm Jeff.
Put that on the curve, kiddies.
That's a different one. That's true. Got a lot of pops.
Okay. So what do we have to do?
So if the board would like to authorize my firm to provide legal services for the DRI project at the rates that I've just outlined, then we can have the board do that tonight. We can start tomorrow with putting together the RFP and the queue and have that ready to put out sometime next month.
Okay.
So you said the maximum would be 10%?
No.
One and a half of the total project cost.
$10 million, right?
Well, so we got awarded like 4.2.
Oh, that's good, it's a better hit.
And each of our projects, of our 7 projects, has 15% set aside for design and legal. Right. So total. So this would take 1.5% of that 15%.
Must be, he didn't read that.
That leaves a good chunk for the design team.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
It's gonna be a lot of design involved.
Yeah, some of them will be, yeah.
No, and by putting a not to exceed number in there, I mean, we're certainly taking a risk that if there ends up being something a little more complicated than we would have expected for this project, and we exceed that number, then of course, that's on us.
Working for free.
And the 1.5 is around 60 grand of that 4 million.
Right.
Do we have any reason to be looking elsewhere, getting a competitive thing? Maybe
It's professional service, so we don't need to.
no, I didn't mean do we have to, I mean, do we have a reason that we want to do that?
And so, Rusty, certainly, as your village attorney, I would always, whenever procuring services, say to go out and do an RFP or competitive bid, I can remind you, of course, that the village used HH&K not too long ago for special counsel services relating to some zoning matters. And I believe the fee for that was, I know in 2018 is the engagement letter that I saw, that was $250 an hour. I don't recall what it was last year, but I'm assuming it was right around there or a little higher.
Yeah.
So we believe that we're certainly offering a competitive rate with folks from other firms. And of course, the benefit we have is that we know you and we know what's going on and what your needs are specifically for this project. And I think we can get it done well within the 1.5%. I mean, I'd be shocked if we got close to that.
Okay, so 4 years from now, say you've maxed out your 1.5%. We've got another 1.5 years of projects to do, then
Yeah.
you get your fees
That's the risk that I'm taking.
0%.
Yeah, I mean, we're only capping it at 1.5%. You know, I'm taking a risk that we're not gonna exceed that.
Right?
Hey, one quick question. When we do things with your firm, does that give us anything on the 15 and 15 W and M?
It does not.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor, a motion to accept that proposal? I'll make the motion. Okay. Any more discussion on using Coughlin and Gerhard to do the legal work for the DRI, for the village projects? Make that clear for the camera.
Under your terms that,
On the terms in the letter that we just discussed. Okay. Fran?
Yes.
yes. Yes.
Rusty?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Trustee Jeff votes Abstaining?
Jeff Preston, be honest.
Other than that, all of our DRI projects, the general rule is we have to follow our procurement process. So like the lights across the river, they don't technically have design, but they're gonna have to be bid out. And Matco did a lot of work to figure out what was wrong there. They would be one of the bidders, but we have to send it out to competitive bid. It's government money, so we're gonna have to pick the lowest bidder, so. So it's how they're all more or less gonna work.
Well, I'd say another urgent step would be to get the right of way on the sewer project.
That's another one that we can kick off and kind of run with even before the architecture firm comes on board.
Well, one of the things certainly that we talked about with Julie Sweet was for that specific projects. Well, actually, and I've talked with Tracy about it. One is we want to make sure where the lines are. I think we feel pretty comfortable about that. And then the next would be finding a firm to provide recommendations as to what repair work or upgrade work is actually needed for that, and then the width of the area that would be taken as for the easements that we'll be working on. And we can talk about, we could proceed kind of separately from that, but I think what we really talked about was all 7 projects being part of the RFPQ.
Right.
And so hopefully one firm will be able to do all of that stuff.
Yes.
Easements.
And, so we have a meeting on Friday with Cornell, the design connect team, about the art park stuff. So it's coming up Friday.
What time is that?
11. Here. Starts here, and then we're gonna go over to the actual art park. I don't know how long it's gonna be.
It's more of a little meeting for like the key players,
Yeah,
as
just to
opposed
get to know.
before everybody comes in, because they're gonna get together and have like public things and like talk to all their officials. So they really wanted to meet with like Jeff and Mike.
Yeah, it sounded like it was just to get to know everybody and get to know the piece of land and, you know, go there and look at it, that kind of thing.
Were you saying that they don't want the rest of the village board there?
It has to be.
Yeah,
open to
like
the
they're not
public.
looking for it to be they were looking for it to be a thing just before they, like, they're gonna, have their classes start and do
Right.
some stuff, and so it's really just getting, eyes on stuff and being on you
I'm
guys.
sure they'll take pictures or whatever.
Yeah.
You know.
They're not making any decisions, they're like
No.
having you guys tell them like, really basic things.
Yeah, so maybe once they come, they can come, but it might be kind of boring.
Did you learn any more about how much design will they be doing? Because I need that input when we do the RFPQ, because we're going to indicate that this is an involved
That's definitely gonna be a question
resource.
Friday.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I haven't talked to her much besides 11 o'clock Friday, so. So anyway, that's what I got about the DRI. The other projects, I think are moving along as far as, you know, from Team Tioga. Let's see, the next item is sidewalk replacement and repair. This is really just to ask Jeff, to get a guy, so that we can put together a sidewalk program. I know it's 50% the village, 50% the homeowner.
Unless it's the damage is caused by
Plus
a tree burn, then it's all the village's problem.
Right. But we should put together a plan, and some of them are pretty bad.
Yep.
Jeff, did we talk about something that you had, I can't remember how much it was, $60,000 or $100,000 in budget towards working on, you told us some number about working on sidewalks.
Yeah, but I never got that.
Oh, you were supposed to have that, but you didn't come.
I'm not sure if we can use that.
Okay.
I could cover quite a bit of it, so.
Well, yeah, at least get a plan put together, and we'll start chipping away at the bumps.
We've done some ourselves,
Yeah.
but
So we should get a guy or girl.
actually what I'm gonna have to do is, let's go out and mark every one that we want to do, measure them up, and then I'll bid it out
Right.
per square foot price.
Right, like we did with the trees.
Right. So,
Did you know the tree stuff? Nothing?
yeah,
Yeah, nothing.
The wind is helping.
You thought about, like, I doubt the county has like a county bid for sidewalk replacement, but what about like teaming up, doing an IMA with Waverly to see if you guys can join in and get a competitive price on that?
yeah, we could do that.
Chico's good.
Chico will never work in the village that we go, as long as I'm here. Even though he's the cheapest guy in town. Although last time I knew the state was trying to confiscate all his equipment and rounded it butt up.
Since we're talking about that sort of thing, I've received multiple complaints about the junkyard.
Which one?
Where?
Not Wixman's. Over on the south side.
We've been talking to him. He has been removing vehicles,
He's also been ticketed by the DEC.
so I've heard.
I've seen it. Somebody sent it to me.
So,
Is this in a residential area?
No, he's owned industrial. It's a towing company. He tows the car and he has to keep it for X number of days and before he can get rid of them. But there's quite a lot of cars over there.
he has gotten rid of quite a few of them down below. So, he's working on it.
I don't know if there's like
I'll talk to him.
fence we can put up or, well, he can put up, but
Well, for it to be a junkyard, he'd have to get zoning and
yeah, I could get a permit and all that, but
which isn't gonna happen.
for the neighbors' sanity, I don't know.
County saying,
Yeah.
well, let me talk to Scott. He's been dealing with it.
I know, that was my answer to the people who were asking, but yeah, I was gonna bring up this name.
I wasn't here.
So anyway, that's just coming on that road, we gotta figure out how to,
Got the same problem with the other end of those, so, yeah. And they're slowly cleaning theirs up also.
yeah, just gotta keep after this. Anyway,
I'll see if we
We do.
can expedite the situation.
alright, that'll be awesome. I'm sure the neighbors would appreciate it.
I've had a couple of residents on the flats complain to me that the railroad tracks are a mess. Nobody's taking care of that. People that cross there, pedestrians, it ends up being all ice.
Is that the railroad too?
Well, we plow, but we have to angle and lift the blades, or rip some blades right off the truck. So, we'll see if we can figure out.
Well, is that the village responsibility or the,
Well, we plow it when we plow the road, we plow over the tracks, so that's why they don't do anything, I would imagine. But I'll see if we can do a better job of it. We haven't
well, it's
really-
the ice that they complain about?
Throw some salt on it or something.
Well, we're salting them whenever we do streets, but
Yeah.
I'll see if we can figure something else out. I haven't got any complaints, so I wasn't here in the situation. But I'll see what we can do.
Okay, thank you.
And I'll talk to Steve, maybe there's something you can do too.
Yeah. Sounds like the plan. All right, next item is update on EMS revenue versus expenses. So, we got some indication from the billing company, which I didn't turn out, that, right when we set the budget, their estimated revenue was a guess based on the number of calls we were doing. The number of calls we're doing now is different because we're sending bills, so less people are using us. So they gave us new numbers, which are 96,000 short of what we had budgeted.
But we also don't know what they're charging.
Yeah, these are,
How many months are behind, do we?
These are, no,
We're pretty much
we're
covered.
pretty much, we're caught up. It's just,
yeah, so I mean, the current numbers are, as far as spending versus revenue, they're like $1,000 off, right?
Yeah, it's pretty close.
yeah, they're good.
1,000 and we brought in 100,000, so I mean,
Yeah.
tracking okay, we just have to keep an eye on it, be
I
sure.
mean, we got 25,000
that budget of 322,000 doesn't sound like it's all gonna come in this year. They were
No,
just giving us a heads up.
yeah, well, we kind of do that.
We saw it.
Right. The heads up is that don't spend like you got 322, just spend like you got whatever, maybe we'll get 270.
Yeah, probably.
So that's what we're
Tracking it.
you know, just-
No, we definitely don't just spend.
Yeah, I know, that's what we're saying. We just, like, this is like the 6 months, so we just figured, let's see where we are in 6 months, but, you know, we got 25,000, then we got a check the other day, somebody wrote us a check for $1,700. So, I think there's a possibility out there that it could work, but just in other words, just don't buy something super expensive yet.
Yeah.
Or another, whatever.
The only,
Yeah. But you know,
Keep an eye out.
your budget is online with your spending.
yeah,
I'm going to take it. So that part's good.
Yeah, no, I mean, we're just keep an eye on it, especially his first years. Figure out how it's gonna go.
We didn't want to come at the end of the year and say, oh, by the way.
Right.
This way we got at least a 6 months.
Plan ahead a little there.
well, you saw the unforeseeable things, like, obviously the auto pulse, the thumpers, the batteries have their own life cycle.
Yeah.
And when it's done, it stops.
Oh, yeah.
There is no recharging it, it's just done. And they do that to protect themselves. And unfortunately, now we had to get
Yeah, they're
6 new
expensive.
batteries, and they're 800 plus a piece, but we had no choice, otherwise we didn't have an auto pulse.
Yeah.
But those are,
There's money there, it's running okay, but just
Yeah.
keep watching it until, you know.
we cringe knowing that you're gonna cringe, so, you know, that's what we, you know.
If you need it, you need it.
Yeah,
It's necessary.
yeah, yeah.
Can't not have
It
your.
still hurts, we know it hurts.
It's not really an option. All right, the next item is department head reports. We might as well start with Robin. We're just talking about EMS.
Yes. Well, first of all, I would like to compliment 2 of our officers that go way above and beyond. Jeff Winchell and Dustin Kearney. We've had some terrible bad calls, and they have jumped in with both feet, literally. Been covered with vomit, been covered with everything, and they just jump right in and help us. We literally had one in the back and a police escort, and the other one's following behind us to get to the hospital with them gentlemen, and they never bat an eye to jump in. And this has happened 3 times in 3 weekends, so we've decided we don't want to work with each other anymore. But they're an awesome couple of guys. I don't know about the other ones because I don't usually deal with them. But I know Starzak in the past had jumped in and just never hesitated. So I feel very fortunate that we have the OPD officers we have on the weekends, and thank them greatly. We also, we have a new member, and as you know, we went through a little issues with the state, so we changed some things. And even though this particular person, her name is Lauren Pringle, she's already a national EMT.
Okay.
She's already worked with other places. She's also a pre-med student. And we implemented that we were not going to even have them as members unless they showed obvious initiative. And when I called her, she came right down. She's pulling a shift. We had another one, and his answers didn't please me, so that's why he's not coming forward until I see an effort. But Lauren is, she's 25 years old. We've taken her grandmother many times, she says, so she knows that how we work and appreciates it. She has an address of Hillside Drive in Appalachian, but she's currently with her grandmother at 13 Corbin Street here in Owego. So anyway, but that's her story. Very nice young girl, very energetic and willing to jump in.
Saying it lightly.
Yeah, real nice girl. And so yep. I always have one for you. So that's your job.
Yeah, the change in procedure comes from the Department of Health. basically, we have to make sure they're members of the department before we send them the EMT plans.
Yeah, well,
Paperwork, but
that didn't apply obviously in this case because she already was.
Already is.
And, but I still wanted to follow through with that same thing because we got too many dead weight. Pardon the pun.
All right, so I'd like to nominate Warren Pringle as the EMT.
I'll second it.
Thank you, Ron.
Any discussion on her from the board? Brad?
Yes.
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 She's also very active with the EMT training as well. And speaking of EMTs, every single one of our members that took the EMT class passed.
Good.
And out of everybody that had done it, only 2 other ones passed out of that whole group.
Oh, okay.
So we had awesome output, and everybody's already chomping at the bit when they can cover. So that's good. Still, I know it's been an issue around here about green tags for running the green lights. We do have them now, so I'll be signing them for the members that want to run the green lights.
Okay.
I mean, I know that Jim and I said it was not a big deal about the blue lights, but some people have a
Yeah. It's a
little tizzy about it, so,
I mean, a lot of them are volunteer firemen as well.
yeah.
If they're not, they're supposed to run,
All the state law.
yeah, state law.
Yep. So those are there. I haven't handed any out yet, but they are there. And I talked to you about our concerns with the computer system. So,
Yeah, I'll get a hold of computer shop and we'll figure it out. I got your email somewhere. I'm sure maybe has it.
yeah. Well, it's nothing against what they've done. It's just that the access that they may have.
Yeah, we'll get it set
It's
up.
HIPAA related.
Access, yeah.
Yeah, we don't want to protect everything.
Set up how both groups need it.
And the new cameras that we had ordered for the computers, we have one that we ordered. And it actually, because of the time that we ordered it and the way that we ordered it, we got a free handheld one to scan. But the problem was with the billing, we had those little cameras that we had to try and aim and whatever to get, and the information wasn't coming up clear for billing. This one actually sits down and it prints out beautiful, so there's no...
Scanner kind of thing?
Yep. So it,
I saw the link in the email, I clicked on it.
it worked really well. It doesn't look like it's coming out clear, but when you click it, it's perfect. So billing should be happy with us.
Good.
So, other than that, rigs are hanging in there. Well, we did have every bell and whistle went off in one, and we took it down, it checked, they cleared it, and we tried like the devil to get it to reset something, so we at least knew what we had maybe possibly coming. And of course, nothing will come on. So, and it's been running fine since, so whether it was just a sensory issue, we don't know, but
It's every time you take your car to the mechanic too.
but we've actually been able to take code 3 calls, and it's been good, and so. Anyway.
Yeah, you guys got a lot today.
Dude. This weekend. Next weekend.
Yeah. Anything else? You good? Mary, Jimmy?
So today's date marks the 7th year anniversary of fallen firefighter Matthew Picari. I was hoping the board would honor a moment of silence in his memory. Thank you. The only other thing I got, we have a new member, Courtney Benjamin. She lives on Halstead Ave in the south side. She'd like to join and do some firefighter activities. Her husband is a member as well. I believe Rusty has the shirt on
I know Courtney, she was a student in high school.
Yeah. Very nice person.
Yeah, she's our teacher now.
Want to do that now, Mr. Mayor? Good. Nominate Courtney Benjamin for Fire Department Hiawatha Engine number 4, company number 4.
A second.
Any discussion on her? Fran?
Yes.
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 Rob, you got the email copy of it from Cindy?
We'll get her around
This, yeah, that,
We emailed it on the...
yeah, I think it This was advanced. You want to take it back?
Sure. Jeff just.
here. Where's your signature, Seth?
To pour lemon juice on it.
Jim, you're still a member of the fire department, right?
Well, I guess you talked about the air packs a lot. My question is, what questions does the board have for Jim about the air pack so that he can get answers so that we can figure out how we're gonna move forward? Got an update, we're checking into, Ronnie's checking into the financing options.
One thing we could look at, if you borrow 200,000, it's gonna cost you about 40,000 a year per bank each year for 6 years roughly. And that's a 2% village increase just on that alone, so. And we got the 2% cap, which will probably be a little bit less than that, so.
It's gonna be less than that.
But that's just one.
So what questions do we have for Jim about?
Well, okay, what Jim had told us is the company buying the equipment from is offered a 3.3% interest per year.
For 7 years.
Yeah,
I'm sure they will be making money with
I mean,
the purpose of referendum.
So if you go beyond 5 years for a borrowing or a bonding, then it would be subject to permissive referendum, which means from the date you authorize the borrowing itself, and we're not prepared to do that tonight because we still don't know what it is and how much we're authorizing, but whenever we do that, 30 days for a permissive referendum period, and then if the village electors file a petition to challenge it, then we'll have an election on it. But if no one files a petition to challenge it, then after that 30th day, you'd be able to publish what's called an estoppel notice. And then 20 days after the estoppel notice is run, you'd be able to actually take the money from a bank. So I always like to say it's going to be at least 2 months, really, when you think about it.
And if we go 5 years or less, what's the process there?
You would avoid the permissive referendum requirement, and so you shorten it by 1 month.
So it'll be 1 month.
but I had the impression we have to make this decision in about 6 weeks, right, Jim?
Well, I mean, no matter what we do, we're gonna end up probably paying a higher price.
Yeah, because after February, they go up 5% in cost.
After the end of February. Right, so we've got about 6 weeks.
Yeah, we just don't have, I mean, even if we authorize it tonight, we wouldn't be buying it until 2 months from now, so.
Yeah, but if we have a contract with this company by the end of February, they'll hold to the price, right?
They're only holding until the end of January, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, but if we have a contract signed with them by the end of January.
So Frank, one of the things that you wouldn't be able to do, if you choose to authorize this for a longer period than 5 years, you can't sign contracts until the permissive referendum period is expired, because until that time is expired, you don't have authority to actually borrow or spend the money, because the public could still come in and say no to you, so you don't want to sign a binding contract prior to the expiration of that time period.
Rusty?
It is our understanding that the offer from Scott expires on the 24th or possibly a tiny bit longer of this month, not the end of February. So that particular set of numbers we have in one proposal will not necessarily be offered to us after that. We were led to believe that, in general, they believe that it's going to be a 5% increase in cost then, but we also don't have a new Was it Tim that was doing it? Tim's doing it, but we don't have a new number or proposal if we can't make that deadline. We don't have a new offer, we don't have any idea what the offer may or may not be. So, I just want you to have all the specifics exactly how that's going to be. We have no idea.
Okay, well, if we just borrowed the down payment amount, which is like $24,000, and went with the 3.3% with the Scott Company, I mean, that could be done sooner, could it not?
That's for a 7-year term. We can't do a 7-year term.
Oh, that's a 7-year term.
The representative, that proposal we had was more of an idea of what kind of thing that they would do for us. That wasn't a set in stone thing. He let us know that was just one possible way to do it. So they have any number of ways we could finance it through them. So it didn't have to be that 3.3 at 7 years. That was flexible from that. But we also haven't made any other overtures or thoughts or agreements with them about that.
No, we called a couple of banks. We haven't heard back from them.
Nothing in stone yet.
So,
Yeah. The one thing that does concern me with doing all 25 at one time is that 15 years down the road, we're setting our board up and the fire board up for another $200,000 or $300,000 purchase. I really think we should at least look at stepping them just for longevity, rather than having 25 go out at the same time. It'd be 5 here, 5 here, 5, or whatever number we look at.
no, it's definitely a good idea. We're applying for the grant.
We did
That's a separate topic. We're applying for the grant, hopefully to cover all of these.
We have done that, and it's going to go in the first or whatever day it opens. And I mean, they're going to put it in pretty much right about then.
Yeah, we're just waiting for Kim to get us one more piece of FEMA information. And then once the grant opens, then we can do that. As far as 15 years down the road, really the only purchase we would have is the bottles itself. So we can step process the bottles. We won't have to necessarily replace the packs.